Many people have a preconception of SSO as one of process-driven, monotonous work. Do you agree with this? And if not, how would you dispute this?
I believe that the shared services industry is not only process-driven, but it's also a knowledge-driven industry. The misconception is people normally put the process first and the knowledge next. In my view, the knowledge comes first and the process comes next. So it depends how the organization positions it. If you are constantly deploying commoditized work, which is easy to do, not high value, you call it process driven. But I think the real value for the shared services center would be to make it more knowledge driven and make sure it starts, you climb up the value chain and start delivering some real value proposition to your internal and external clients.
This year more than ever, we have found more people wanting to talk about the customer as a key focus in their organization. Why do you think that is?
I often call it's a Google or Apple phenomena. I mean, the customer is, or it should be at the center of every transaction, whether it's internal customer or external customer, especially in shared services setup. So from our point of view, I mean, the kind of work that's happening in shared services setup has got two types of facets. One is where the customer is internal, which means you're delivering services like finance to your internal customers within Credit Suisse. And the second is you are delivering services to functions or customers which are outside the bank. In both the situations, I think we have been able to define KPIs, SLAs, what kind of service is being delivered by the shared services center, making sure that the client expectations are met or customer expectations are met. Voice of the customer is kept in view. We get constant feedback, and it's like constant refinement to the operating model rather than saying one shoe will fit all. The biggest mistake people make is that they just apply the same formula for all kind of customer transactions, which normally doesn't work.
Which technology do you think has the biggest impact in the SSO market today?
I think there are two or three parts of it. One is the communication technology, the tools and the like Link, which have come in from Microsoft. Video conferencing is fairly basic. I mean, you ought to get and see the customer straight away or without traveling from location to location. Second is cloud computing, which means making sure that the information is shared across the globe in common networks, in a common cloud setup. Of course, keeping in view the regulatory issues and constraints that one would have. And third is mobile computing. So I think that is again an interesting revolution, because at this point of time the handheld devices constitute to around 80–90% of the transactions, which could include checking your emails. You could be interacting with the clients through that. So combination of these three, which is communication, internal, external, cloud where required, and third one is mobility.
One of the key themes of this year's conference is creating an agile operational structure. How has your firm done this, and what are your thoughts about this?
In terms of being agile, I mean, first we should think what does being agile means. Being agile means able to react to the needs of the market or the customer in a very short period of time, and that's what I would call it agility. If your customer requirements are changing or your costs on budget constraints are changing, how do you ramp up or ramp down equally fast? So from that purpose, first of all we have consolidated the functions into a location which is where the common or similar work is being done. Second is where functions are commoditized, we have used a third-party vendor. So being in an outsource or third-party vendor mode, it is easier to ramp up and ramp down without having a huge impact on staff, change management in the organization, and also it's much more efficient in terms of cost. So combination of these three have actually helped us.
Data continues to be a key theme among shared services professionals. In your own organization, how do you use data to your advantage?
For working in a bank, I mean, my view on this is a little bit more conservative for the right reasons, especially a Swiss bank. I think data confidentiality, cross-border data are top of our priority. We would not be seen in a breach of any of these requirements or regulatory issues as a bank, unlike manufacturing or other parts of the industry which do not have data issues. So big data is important. We are leveraging upon it within our own organization by having common data warehouses, common repositories where data can be accessed, bringing the functions together between operations and IT. So I think we have embarked upon the journey, and we are already exploring opportunities within the organization.